Hello, welcome back to the PoddiMouths Podcast. I am Peyton Cubic, and this is where my dad and his friend John talk about random stuff in life or the things they found on the internet. I hope you enjoy listening to this episode as much as I did. Here they are now.
I think John, we've got so much to talk about today that we're probably going to go long and make it 2 episodes.
We can try.
Yeah, that was my little sneaky thing because we were trying to get started so fast that I forgot to tell him, hey, why don't we go a little bit long so we don't have to worry about recording before Thanksgiving or after
maybe
Thanksgiving.
We can. Yeah, maybe we can. Of course, I'm jumping on a plane today. As you can see, you don't see me in Florida very often wearing a sweatshirt like ever because it was chilly this morning. I was truly, and this is how my blood has thinned out or thickened or whatever the heck it is in Florida. I kind of was thinking, you know what? The Harley's been sitting in the garage. I got a men's group meeting this morning. You know what? I'll just hop on the Harley and ride it. You know, it's 2 miles to the building, to the church. And
was it 2 very long miles today?
Well, I didn't ride because I got outside. It's 53 degrees out. Forget it. I'm not getting on the bus. You know, in Wisconsin, that's perfect riding weather. You know,
yeah.
53. I don't have to wear chaps today. And yeah.
Yep.
No, I took the truck today because I pussed out.
That sounds like you. Yeah, it was chilly here last night. I think it got down to 34 degrees overnight. And tonight, I was debating on whether to do my final lawn mow today. But then I thought, you know what? I might wait because it's not going to stay that cold for a long time. But tonight, the low is going to be 33. And I don't want to hurt my grass because I was also going to lay seed. And then on Monday, it actually gets up to 70 degrees and it rains. So I think I might wait till tomorrow because tomorrow is going to be 64 instead of 52.
So you think it'll be the last one of the season?
It will be the last one of the season.
Oh, yep. No matter what.
No matter what.
It's 2 feet long.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm done. Yeah. I'm done. Well, part of it is mulching up and sucking up all of the leaves off of and I'm actually only going to do the front yard. I'm not even going to worry about the backyard because the backyard doesn't have grass. So what the hell?
That comes in handy.
Yeah.
You're so lucky.
I don't know if I'd go with lucky.
Blessed.
Blessed is more accurate.
I
love having a yard. I hate working on it. I think I would enjoy it more because I remember as a young kid, I enjoyed actually mowing the lawn with a riding lawnmower. But our yard is so small, and so sloped that I can't do it with a riding lawnmower. So I think I might enjoy that, but at the same time, I don't like the rest of it. I don't like, we've talked about this. I don't like to sweat. And when you live in Tennessee and you're mowing the lawn in the summer, it can be 70 degrees outside and you're just going to be dripping. I don't like that. I like this weather. I like it nice and chilly. I'm actually disappointed that it's going to get back up into the 70s.
Oh boy.
I know. It's rough. It's rough, man.
Well, and I know what you mean. When after I had my shoulder surgery, we hired a landscaper. They're everywhere, of course, in Florida. And we hired this guy to come, and he would come on Wednesday mornings, and and I'm in my sling looking out the window. Hey, good to see you. and it was all right. And now I'm 90+% rehabbed, and Lisa says, "Well, you can do it now." She's right. We have the rider, and
yeah.
So yeah, I hop on the rider and there's no problem. But yeah, I'm kind of secretly going, I really liked it when somebody else did it because now I'm back out there again.
I'm torn because I think we've talked about it. If not, welcome to Nick's weird head. If I had unlimited funds, like money was no object, I would most likely have either a very modern house with no yard out in the wood, but in the city, because you can do that here in Nashville. I mean, I think we're 15 or 16 miles outside of Nashville. We are on the edge of the city limits. We are still Nashville, but but we're in a wooded area. I've got a 300-acre farm right behind me. I wish it was mine, but it's not.
Awesome.
So there isn't anything. It's very nature. Like, it's a beautiful drive. If you guys ever come to visit, it's a fantastic drive.
I'm waiting for an invitation.
You, John, have an open invitation. Just give me at least a day to be able to clean the house and.
Hey, guess where we are? We're in Franklin. We'll be right there.
Yeah, that has happened, and I have found excuses not to have people come over.
I am
not
so
gonna
sorry.
lie. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, I could actually probably be perfectly happy living in a nice condo. And we have condos here that if you walked in, you would think it's a house. You wouldn't think it's actually a condo, but it has no yard. Mm-hmm. And I would be perfectly happy with that. Problem then becomes, what do you do with the dogs? Because I'm a dog person. I love having my dogs. We have actually talked about downsizing already because we have 3 people that live here, and it is too much house for the 3 people that live here.
Sure.
Downsizing would work very, very well, but our dogs are so obnoxious. We leave. So this happened, I think, last week. I'm up in my office on the 3rd floor. Dogs think I'm gone. For some odd reason, they just don't know I'm here. Jen goes out for a walk, and I can hear the dogs downstairs howling.
Oh my gosh, funny.
2 floors up.
Not knowing that you're here.
Not knowing that I'm there. Man. And I walk I walk down my stairs, walk down to the top of the stairs leading to the main floor, and I'm like, I'm right here.
Oh my gosh.
And of course they stopped. Actually, let me see if I.
And they're surprised.
Yeah, they were surprised. But
what are you
let me
doing
see if
here?
I still have that. So I actually recorded it because it was so funny.
That's hilarious.
Let's see. I might have deleted it.
Wait a second. How did you get in?
Yeah. Well, that was Clyde's voice. You did well. Here
I know Clyde's voice. Wow.
That was up in my office.
Oh my gosh.
So could you imagine?
Yeah, you need to be in an apartment building.
Yeah.
Listen.
They do that every time we leave.
One? Is that Bonnie?
No. Yeah, the short ones, that's Bonnie.
Oh my gosh.
Did you hear me say I'm right here?
Oh my God. And they instantly stopped.
Yeah.
That's incredible. We videotaped, we had a Weimaraner a couple of dogs ago. And he was, oh my gosh, he was just funny. And as we were getting to know him a little bit, he was probably 6-8 months old. And we used to gate him in the kitchen.
Okay.
Because he was kind of new to the house and the house we had just bought and blah, blah, blah. Well, we couldn't figure out. There was some weird stuff when we would leave. Mm-hmm. And so we put a video camera on him when we left. And as soon as, we closed the door and there was, maybe a 30-second delay. And he went over to the gate and just jumped it.
Yeah.
and I got to correct that. He actually looked kind of like he was looking at the camera, which I'm sure he wasn't. And he threw his head back and, he did that and then jumped the gate. And so fast forward, and I don't know, it showed him running, back and forth and around the house. And 40 minutes later, when we came back, suddenly he kind of stops like this. And we came in through the garage, which right into the kitchen. He jumped over the gate again. And so he's waiting in there for us when we came back. It was
a smart dog.
Oh, it was the cutest thing. After watching the video, we're like, you little shit. I can't believe you. It was awesome.
But he didn't destroy anything in the house. So that's.
He didn't. But
good.
There was some of the weirdness that he might grab something and move a sock from one spot to another or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, anyway, that wasn't the dog.
Funny.
That was the ghost.
It could have been the ghost of dogs past.
There you go.
Those dogs too. Yeah.
They're pissed that you got another dog.
Yeah, we had our first dog would often grab my car keys and stuff them in the bed someplace or whatever. I'm trying to leave the house. Oh yeah, trying to leave the house, and that was back in the days of the water bed.
Yeah,
and yeah, we had a water bed that we moved. Oh, good Lord, I didn't even think about that. But he would tuck my car keys inside, and where are my keys? I put them right here. Well, I don't know where. Yeah,
that's great.
Awesome. Not great. Not great. Jeez.
Oh, so anyway, back really quickly because I don't think I finished my thought because I went on to the condo thing.
Yes,
I could, if I had unlimited funds, I would want either a big loft apartment somewhere in the city. It doesn't have to be Nashville. It can be anywhere, but somewhere in a city, a nice big. Even if I could get like an old building, like an old warehouse, and have the top floor and turn that into just a beautiful loft apartment, I'd be perfectly happy. Then I'd want a farm somewhere where we could do on the weekends, we could just leave, or whenever we're just like, we're done with the city, because that happens quite a bit, more and more every day. Just done with this place. Yes. Let's go out to the farm. That would be ideal. I would really enjoy that. Now, if it was unlimited, I'd probably have my pilot's license and we could just fly to the farm and land on the property. That would be super ideal. You're going
to have a runway there.
Yeah, absolutely. There are actually plenty of farms here in Nashville that are for sale that have runways. It's crazy.
And it's kind of cool because there are in several areas subdivisions that have, a little airport.
A lot of them in Florida.
Of its own. Yes. And it might be 10 houses or something like that, and their garages are hangars.
Yeah. We have a few of those around Nashville. There are a few communities that are built around their runways.
North Carolina has some. Well, they used to. I'm not sure they still do. I hope they're.
I don't know if anyone knows this. We have two airports in Nashville. We have BNA, which is the big one.
Yep.
Banana. Yep. That's it used to be called Berry Field. That's the B in BNA.
Okay.
So BNA is the international airport. Then we have John C. Toone, which is over by me on the other side of the city. So BNA is on the east side. I live on the west side. John C. Toone. John C. Toone is just a private airport. It's not a. I don't think they call it an executive airport. I don't know if it's at the level of executive airport, but it could, because there are a lot of jets and stuff, a lot of private jets.
So it can handle jets.
Yes, it can handle jets. Nice. They fly right over the house. It's pretty, right? And they're usually a lot louder because they're private. I don't know why the private jets maybe it's because they're lower. That could be.
Probably, and closer.
Closer. But because they're coming in. So I've noticed something, by the way. It's a complete rabbit hole. I am started saying and a lot more when I'm speaking, and it's driving me nuts. And it was only because
you can fix it because you recognize
I'm trying to fix it.
Yeah.
If you notice me pausing a little bit more, folks, that's me recognizing that I'm saying that, and I'm trying to fix it, because there was a point in my life I wasn't doing that at all. I just got lazy again.
Did I tell you how I fixed it with my son?
How?
When he was 14 or 15 or 16 or something, it was the and I made him change that every time he was going to say he had to change it to duh.
Nice.
So and so it took maybe 5 minutes and it was fixed. Duh. You do that a couple of times, and
I might start to do that.
I would like it. This would be the duh.
So you have to, if you hear me say tell me to say duh.
Well,
that'll help.
You got to make yourself recognize it.
I will. But you have to call me. You have to call me out a few times, otherwise I'm going to miss it.
Okay, you just said it.
Anyhow,
yes,
we have an executive airport over here, which is actually where I would have gone to do my pilot's training when I was trying to do that before Jen opened her business. I think a lot of people might be surprised that we actually had past tense. It's still there. It's not used, obviously, as an airport, but we had an airport downtown Nashville. It's on the east side. Some of the hangars are still there, the tower's still there, and the runways are still there. I think what might have been, and I don't know what the folks that live there now do when they fly, but a lot of these different airports, when they're selling the property, are selling, it's only a 15-minute flight to downtown Nashville. That's how they sell it, because I think what people were doing when they started building these communities, none of these communities are new. They're older, so the houses are a little bit older.
Mm-hmm.
I think what they were doing was they lived way out there. This was early commute times, and they would, if the weather was good, they would take their plane and fly to this airport downtown, which forgive me, I don't remember the name. They would fly downtown, then they would drive into work or whatever. Probably do what my stepdad did. They had a car at the airport that they would fly into so they could go to which is what we lived by an old airport, which they tore down about 1995. They tore out the airport and put in an industrial park, which was okay because that was near Murray's retirement. So he didn't do it as much, but that's why he picked the house, because it was so close to the airport. So he could fly to all the 5 different hospitals that he served. So he'd fly into the airport. He had an old junker car, which I ended up with one of them as my first car.
Nice.
And then he would just drive to the hospital, do his work, drive back, fly to the next one, do the same thing. I think that's probably what they were doing back then. I don't think they do that anymore, though. Obviously, because the airport's close. I don't think they're flying to John C. Toon because it's still far enough out.
Yeah,
it's not worth it.
Yeah,
you could probably still drive from out there. Tullahoma is a good example. Tullahoma, Tennessee. If you look it up on a map, that's where a lot of them are actually. It's just as fast to drive up than it is to fly up. If you've got to go to John C. or BNA.
And so the empty one is truly empty. It's not used for anything.
People use it to hike and walk and stuff like it. It's a park now. It's part of the city park. I don't remember. Go ahead.
I was just going to say something about Denver, and we all know the Denver Airport, DEN, which is way the hell out from the city, and you just heard some interesting stuff about it that kind of surprised me because I used to fly into Stapleton, which was much closer and much closer to everything you'd want to be around in the Denver area. But they had this, it was actually I think it was like a bombing range where they ended up with the big airport now. And it's just inconveniently located and terrible for getting around. I mean, if you had to go to the tech center from there with traffic on I-25 or even going around, it's crazy how far away it is.
Yeah.
And to say nothing of getting to
it is,
Castle
but
Rock or
have you been to the airport in Denver lately?
Last time was probably 8 months ago.
Okay.
Something like that.
So you're when they put the new airport out there, it was a long way away. I mean, there was nothing. It was out in if you drive out there now or rent a car, it's not that far. There are so many suburbs that have been built up over there.
Oh, sure.
It doesn't seem as far as it once did. All right. So, and forgive me if I wasn't paying close enough attention to what you said, and I completely went a different direction because I was looking up Cornelia Fort Air Park. Is the name of the old airport. It is in East Nashville. Duh.
How far from BNA?
Not too far.
Yeah.
Actually, well, Nashville itself is not too far from BNA.
No, but I mean it's on the east side of Nashville.
It is. Right? I'll pop up a map here. And I'll show everyone. I'm sharing it.
Yes.
I keep forgetting we can do stuff like that.
Well, yeah. It's not so good if you're listening and walking at the same time, but
right.
Just trust us. It's really cool. It's a cool representation.
All right. So here's Nashville.
Yeah.
This is where the air park is.
Okay.
So I'm going to zoom in just a little bit here. So see where it says
that's right on the outer ring, pretty much.
Yeah. Well, I think that's where the tower sits, but I think all of this green is part of the airport.
Oh, okay. Got it.
So I live
over here. That makes sense. It would be that shape.
Yeah, I live over here on this side.
Yeah.
Over here.
And I know where you are.
I know. And BNA is actually over here. Right,
right
by,
I thought it was
right
north.
Nope, it's right here. Yeah, so I-40, this is actually the interchange right there. So this is, because you're right by the lake.
Yep.
So I thought it was a little bit closer to downtown, so maybe my assumption was a little bit different. But it's up here. So or John C. Toon. Let's see, where's John C. Toon is right here. It's in this pocket right there.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right. Well, that's a good representation. Thank you.
Yeah. It's kind of fun to be able to show stuff like that.
I like it.
Let's see if I close the map. So let's see when it was closed. It operated as an airport from 1944 until 2011, when the city of Nashville acquired it to include it in a non-aviation part of Shelby Park. And there's the actual building, and it's still there. So
awesome. Looks like cool. They have several hundred gates there.
Yeah, exactly. So these buildings are still there. I don't know what they use that for. I think it's just an office now. But
interesting.
The hangars are still there.
Cool restaurant.
It could be actually
if you could land a plane there.
If you could land a plane there, I think it used to be. I think they've had a couple in there. Anyway,
there are a lot of FBOs, right?
FBOs.
Isn't that what you call them?
Yep.
There are a lot of FBOs with, for the smaller planes, typically private spots, and occasionally they are built onto other major airports too. But those that you have, quite often they have restaurants, and some of them are really good.
Yeah.
And people will fly in and just to have breakfast or whatever at this restaurant, and then fly out again. And that happens.
What do they call
often.
that, John?
They call that a fly-in, fly-out, I think, is a FIFO.
FIFO. I like that. That's what it's going to be known for as from now on.
I think it should be.
I think so. It's a lot of people refer to that as the $100 hamburger. Even if you're going for breakfast, it's a $100 hamburger.
Yep.
And
that's
folks,
funny.
If you're not familiar with aviation, a $100 hamburger has nothing to do with the cost of the hamburger. It has to do with the cost of the fuel it takes to get to that hamburger. And
even if it's really close.
Yeah, it ain't cheap. Actually, I think fuel prices for private planes, if you're not talking jet fuel, you're talking the actual fuel for private planes
Aviation.
right now, is only only $4 or $5 a gallon. So it's not horrible.
That's not ridiculous.
No. Jet fuel, on the other hand, that's expensive.
Yeah.
There's a guy, Cletus. I don't remember the name of his YouTube channel, but he flies helicopters.
Cletus McFarland.
Yep, you know who I'm talking about.
That's who it is.
They were talking.
He recently got a helicopter.
Yeah, a new helicopter. Wow. He was flying with some of his buddies, though, flying that the Black Hawk. Have you seen the Black Hawk?
That's the diesel guy.
Yeah, that's
who owns that.
Yeah, but they're friends, so that's how I got onto that. But they took that and flew it to North Carolina to help with the hurricanes.
Yes.
And I think the entire trip there cost them like $40,000 just in fuel.
Yeah. Doesn't surprise me. But
maybe it was 40 there and back.
He does very well on his YouTube channel, clearly.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
And does very well income-wise to be able to afford stuff like that. But you know what? The kid's got a good heart, and it's fun watching his episodes, because especially the North Carolina stuff, they really put in a lot of effort getting up there, and did not get a lot of props from, let's just say, the feds, who maybe weren't doing all that they could be doing. And
right.
You have to, no, I'm sorry, you can't go in anymore. Because what? There are these people, you have babies who need medication, and you have idiots on the ground going, we need to oversee all of the, shut up. Anyway, there were some brave pilots and helpers who did a lot of good early on, and they still need help there too.
Yes, sadly. They do. I have a couple of coworkers that live in that general area, and they also were working very hard. They were in convoys of relief and taking it all up there. So
there's just so
one of them I know
is
is listening to this. Andrew, buddy.
Hey,
proud
Andrew.
That's all I can say. I'm proud of you.
It's
I think
really
that was fantastic.
Really cool. In fact, we had dinner last night with some friends who I've mentioned their summer home is in the mountains of North Carolina, and they were without power and water and everything for several days. And I think I told you, but it's still funny to repeat. But they were greatly blessed, because a couple of weeks prior, they had done a run to Indiana, because they have some tax-free liquor connection. So he said, we got plenty of liquor. We just don't have any water.
Hey,
well, all right.
Whatever works. It'll keep you alive.
Having the tequila straight, then.
Sailors, they would run out of water pretty quick, and they just keep drinking beer, and that kept them alive.
Stay away from the scurvy. Bring me the brum.
The brum?
The brum. Bring me the brum. Yes. That's what they said. They had some drinks.
Grog. You know what grog is?
I'm familiar with. We talked about that.
We have talked about it. I'm
sure you educated me on grog.
Well, I want to make sure I get it right this time. So let's look up grog. But grog, I think grog is rum mixed with water.
Oh, okay.
And it was for sailors because of scurvy, because of not being able to keep water. Scurvy. So during the early modern period, 1500s to 1800s, sailors were required significant quantities of fresh water to extend voyages. Since desalinating seawater was not practical, fresh water was taken aboard in casks, but quickly developed algae, depending on what part of the world you're in, and became slimy. Stagnant water was sweetened with beer or wine to make it palatable, which involved more casks and was subject to spoilage. As longer voyages became more common, the storage of sailors' substantial daily rations of water plus beer or wine became a problem. So they basically started mixing it with rum. And I believe they served grog to sailors in Britain until 1970.
Last week.
No, until it was discontinued in 1970. The Royal Navy rum was 95.5% or proof rather.
Wow.
So, anyway, yeah, that's grog. Grog is rum and water, and I think there's something else in there. I think they do put something in to prevent scurvy.
I think frog.
Citrus. Yeah, some writers have said that they added citrus juice to prevent spoilage, and it was found to prevent scurvy. So that's how they did it.
Yeah, there's the citrus.
Yeah.
Well, that's spectacular. This is
an educational podcast.
And I think we need to promote it as such.
I think so, too.
It might take us a while to get there to the lesson, but once we do.
Only 25 minutes in this case.
Well, not that long.
No,
really.
We really have moved
worse
fast.
Things for 25 minutes.
It's probably because I'm consciously trying to get rid of all the ums and ahs. It's just moving a lot faster. Duh. Exactly.
Yes, that's the perfect remedy for that. My goodness. So yes, we have some cold weather sweeping the nation.
Yeah.
And we are heading off to Wisconsin
You're going north
for Thanksgiving because we're not that smart. But family up there, and and it was kind of one of those things where, what are we going to do for Thanksgiving? We talked to our kids, and they're okay. Can we do it between Christmas and New Year? Sure, of course. So in the meantime, I thought, well, I can't hurt to look, and got on the. Miss Google is talking to me.
Mine has been doing that a lot lately,
I don't know
too.
what the deal is with her. But yeah, she hears something and
picks up on it.
Not that she's listening.
No, never.
But I thought, well, I'll just check and see what the flights are. Allegiant from our home airport here, direct, $60 each way.
Oh, come on.
Okay, and Lisa goes, well, that's a sign, whatever. It's a sign that I'm going to have to get my winter clothes.
Signs. Yeah. Everywhere there's signs.
Everywhere signs. Hey, Google, stop talking. Okay, I will. But so, yeah, we're looking at it. And of course, I am exit row and I'm going to pay extra for that and pay extra for a carry-on. And I don't care, but it still comes on round trip for both of us was really reasonable.
Yeah.
And so, fine, we'll go. Well, they had 3 inches of snow 2 days ago. I'm like, come on. I'm not cut out for that. But if it's early season snow, it's already melted. And,
right.
So it'll be 40s, maybe 50s when we get up
That's
there.
Good.
So, but packing is a challenge. Usually,
because you never know. You just
that. Yeah, but I mean, it's when we pack normally, if we're coming up in the warm weather, it's shorts and t-shirts and no big deal. Now it's jeans and jackets and sweat. Come on, yeah. So anyway, yes, we've found that we still have some of those clothing items, but not many.
You need them for that 1 or 2 day streaks where you have to.
Like
wear
today,
a hoodie,
when I need
like
a
today.
Sweatshirt on, yeah.
I wanted to, so you can see I'm wearing a flannel for those of you who are watching.
You love wearing flannels.
Sorry. I do, but I also love even more hoodies.
Oh.
And it is hoodie wearing season. It's getting there. So I actually was planning on wearing a hoodie today. I put it on even. But when you have clothes like that, maybe, I don't know if the one you're wearing had this issue, but when you put it in the closet and it sits there for an entire season, you pull it out, it doesn't smell very nice anymore. So I tried one hoodie and I was like, no. And let's face it, would anyone else smell it? Probably not. It's not like it's a horrid smell. I'm just very sensitive to smells. Drives my wife absolutely nuts. I like actually adding scent boosters into our laundry because I like the smell of really clean. That it gives her a headache. So we find the natural ones that aren't very pungent, but I just need a little bit. And I need to smell stuff like that because I don't like it when I can't smell my clothes, which sounds weird because most people are like, well, as long as they don't smell, it's great. No, I want it to smell good. And I hate it when there's even a tinge of something I don't like. Things that sit in the closet for too long tend to get that that smell, and all of my hoodies today had that smell in it. So they're in the laundry right now. They're in the washing machine.
But you're going to have a nice scent to them when they're done. We have an oxidizer, which means we don't ever have to use laundry detergent for our clothes, which is great because if you have any allergies to, whatever the stuff, it's great because they come clean. And whites, obviously, we still bleach and all of that. Otherwise, they look dingy. But everything else comes clean very nicely. But like you, I have a dresser for most of my folding stuff. And here that's, I've got the hanging closet. But for most of the stuff that's folded, the dresser, after it's in there long enough, you kind of go, oh, yeah.
Starts to smell like the dresser.
It does. And so I got some cedar blocks to put inside like you would do. And it's helped. It's made a difference.
That's good. The problem, I don't necessarily like the cedar smell.
Oh, I love cedar.
I do. Don't get me wrong. I love cedar. I love. Oh God. I've tried the dryer sheet thing too, where you and that still it doesn't do it for me.
It doesn't seem to permeate as much, and that's why cedar. It should anyway. I don't know. If it does,
like the smell of cedar when it's burning.
That it can cause a different problem with your clothes. In the
yes, and
if you light it on fire,
especially when you put like salmon on a cedar plank and then put your clothes on it, that's nasty.
It is initially. It's not bad, but a couple of weeks later,
it gets a little stinky. It smells very fishy.
It does. Something's fishy here.
Anyway,
I
will probably, before we go out and about, because it is the morning right now, folks.
Yes.
And Peyton and I are going to have a little, since I took up the entire weekend, or Jen and I were both gone the entire weekend last weekend doing a conference that I told John about, but I'm not going to bore you all with it because I already bored John with it.
I was not bored.
But it was a financial, business financial conference. It was very cool. But we were gone the whole weekend, and Peyton wasn't, also on top of being home alone, wasn't feeling very well.
Oh, was she home all alone for the week? Oh my gosh! Okay.
Not home. No, we came home at night. It was here in Nashville, we would leave in the morning and come back in the afternoon.
Oh, well, then that's different.
It wasn't like we were leaving her home alone. Just home alone during the day. Anyway, so because of that, I'm going to take her and get her ramen. We're going to go to Otoku Ramen and get a couple bowls of ramen for lunch today. So anyway, all that to say, I'm hoping my hoodies are nice and clean because I'm going to put on a damn hoodie.
Good for you.
It's about time. That's something I look forward to every single year is when I can start wearing my hoodies. I love hoodies. I love hoodies. I love flannels.
You don't do the zipper ones, do you?
I have some.
Oh, do you? Okay. I
actually have one.
Anything but the zipper ones.
Yeah, I have one over the head, sitting right over there. Actually.
Okay, I believe you. You're looking and we can't see.
I know.
We're having to trust you.
Yeah, well, I don't want to show my desk right now because I have not cleaned it. My room, I'm putting the room back together. We've talked about this before. Every holiday season, all of the stuff is in the attic. There's a door over here, and there's a door back there leading into the attic. But it doesn't always make it back into the attic. And so I've gotten stuff back into the attic. And of course, by the time I finish and get this office completely clean again, it's time for the Christmas decorations to come out.
It has to come out. Yes, of course. Okay. I need to fill out my water bottle.
Okay.
And so I'm going to step away for a sec. Do we want to just take a quick time?
We're going to take a break. And folks, we'll be back next week. And we'll finish off this episode next week. This is the end of part 1. I hope you really enjoyed it. Come back for part 2. You can head to
Turn the record over.
I have a record player sitting back here too. Yeah.
We'll talk about that when we come back because I have a record player story too. Yep.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it, folks. Head to PoddiMouths.com. Check out our merch store. Check out all of the past episodes. Like, subscribe, all that junk on all of the socials and all of the places you listen to your podcast, because that would be very, very helpful. We would love to bring more content. We're about to enter our 7th year of doing this podcast. Can you believe it?
We keep getting more handsome. Have you noticed that?
I notice that every single time.
Yes. Well, all right. Duh.
All right, folks. We'll see you in a week.